Good afternoon, Hotline.
Hello, Mayor. Kevin Fear.
Kevin Fear, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. What brings you on, Matt?
Question, maybe you can shed some light, as I don't have a lot of experience with city politics. I have a piece of property in the city of Watertown, commercial property. Next to me there's another commercial property, and behind us there's a piece of property, a very small piece of property that the city owns that touches both of our properties.
It's the one off of Haney Street.
You got it. We both put a purchase offer in on the property. My purchase price was 50% higher than his.
$15,000, right?
Yeah. I contacted the city, and they said that the council board will look at it and determine how to handle this. It'll probably go to public auction, which I said, that makes sense, that's fair. I got a call back, and without any explanation, they said, we're going to give it to your neighbor. And I said, well, wait a minute, I bid 50% higher. And they said, well, he's going to have to match your price. And I said, why would you, in these economic times, and as a taxpayer, why would they not put that out to public bid?
I made that point. It was brought up at an executive session meeting a couple of weeks ago. At the time, I thought the mistake that was made was that the offer should have been, the original offer from the other place should have been forwarded immediately to the city council. That type of piece of land, which is generally not sought after, it's kind of an odd parcel. Usually if it's adjacent to somebody else, and they want to, they want to buy it or something, or they initiate the discussion, then those discussions occur. But in this particular case, the council made a decision. I had misgivings about it because there had been a similar situation a year or two ago over on State Street involving an old gas station, again, that was sold at private sale, and I didn't necessarily think should be. But I guess the council made a decision that the folks at the time...
I think the listeners should know, as I received my tax bill today, that these are elected positions, and these people are not looking out for your best interest, because I'll tell everybody listening, I'll pay more than what I offered for that property. I'll pay more, and it should go to public auction. Furthermore, they said his had contingencies on it. Mine had no contingencies. I said, I'll buy it as is.
Now, this was land that really was encumbered by, I think, a drainage easement or something.
Yeah. Really, it would just expand both of our parking lots. That's all it is. And, it should go to public auction and may the best...
Now, the original offer came in from the owners of Friendly's, correct?
Right.
And then, did you make an offer because you heard they had?
It was just coincidental. Okay. I just learned the property was available, so I made an offer on it. But, motives are really irrelevant. This is the taxpayers' land, and they are entitled to get as much as the market will bear.
Right.
I think. Don't you agree?
Well, I would be inclined to agree that the easiest way to do that. Now, I will say that a lot of times, if there's one of these type of parcels that never really has been in play before, and an adjacent property owner approaches the city about it, very often within guidelines, there's a negotiated price for purchasing it and so on. In this case, all of a sudden, two people became interested in it, and then I think it is more problematic. I think you raise a good point. And
what options do I have? There's a meeting tonight?
There's a meeting tonight at 7. There's a public comment section at the beginning of the meeting. You're certainly welcome to get up and speak at that.
Well, I certainly will.
Yeah. If there is a parking shortage between you... Now, you own... is that what a mattress store is?
Mattress Express, yes.
And then they have Friendly's.
Right.
Do they have a parking shortage?
I don't know if they do or not. I don't have a parking shortage. I don't know if he does, but I don't think any of that's relevant, really.
Uh-huh.
Isn't this a situation where they would want to get the most amount of money for that land?
Right, but I'm just saying, were you, when you heard they were going to buy it, did you want to, was it a blocking move because it's adjacent to yours, and everybody likes to...
I want to expand my property, but I don't know that the motives are relevant, really. When you go to sell a piece of property, shouldn't the goal...
Well, sometimes the motives become... The relevance that occurs is, and this happens a lot with buildings and so on, and public that we end up with. If it's somebody who has no means or intention to do anything with it other than just buy it, let's say an older house or something, if it's somebody who has a bad track record of, and this has nothing to do with the people involved in this case, but then sometimes you have to make a qualitative judgment as to what the best use of the property is in terms of who owns it. And that's not a tough call. Now, that's why generally you'd want to go to auction, because that's, gets you out of that business of just making value judgments between two individuals. In this case, I'm not going to try to speak for council members. I think there was a feeling that Friendly's is obviously a long-standing business there. If they're trying to, stay viable by expanding their parking and so on, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No. I guess, my point is, I do have plans. I don't want to show my cards right now. I don't think I should be obligated to tell, everybody knows who I am, and I've created probably more jobs than Friendly's in this town over the years. And I have an idea of what I want to do with that land. Telling everybody is not going to help me. And we're both viable businesses, so why not just put it out to bid and see whoever wants it the worst will pay the most, and the taxpayers win.
Mm-hmm. You raise a good point, and it's a point I think, certainly these are instances where the public should come in and voice their concerns tonight.
I'll see you tonight, and if anybody agrees with me, please speak up. These are your tax dollars. If you disagree with me, speak up too. It's okay. We all pay. I just got a tax bill for $5,000 in the city today, and I'm thinking this could be less. But, I just think we need more common sense in government, more business sense once in a while, and some of these costs would come down.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, thanks for your time.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.